Hi, David Odell here with Odell Complete Concrete. This is my son's first day on the job because this is actually his job, my older son, Timothy. This job right here is multiple episodes in this particular one because we're doing all the way around the whole house, the front, side, back, the whole package. We're doing a dry stack retaining wall in the back. We're doing some pavers back here, some concrete. We got about a little bit of everything going on here. This is going to be the demo and the dry stack retaining wall in this particular episode. All this is coming out, this little raised patio area. This is where that retaining wall is going to go, right back here. Because we're going to be all hardscape now, this back raised planter area will be the only dirt left when we get all done here. So initially what we're going to start doing is take the brick out first, because that's a separate item that we have to take to the dump. It's not a recyclable, it's going to be a landfill item.
That's right.
The concrete, the block, that'll all get recycled into road base. Once we get all this concrete out of here, we're going to bring in a little mini skid to remove all the lawn and some of the roots. There was a big tree back here at one time. So you can see concrete comes out pretty easily when it doesn't have reinforcement in it. Fortunately this one didn't, so it's just a pry bar and a 20-pound sledge. We'll just pop it right on out. A lot of times that's faster than a jackhammer doing it that way. So the difference is
on, you guys. This is day 2 of the project. We just got the thing delivered. I got the trailer in the front as well because we're going to be separating trash and concrete, save a little money on the dump fees. So that's why we're set up like this right now. Hopefully we can get everything out as fast as possible because we also do have a skid steer here today. As you can see, we got pretty far the other day. Most of the concrete's out. We just got this little bit plus the block wall in the back. What we plan on doing today is getting grade, levels, and a lot of the dirt out of here. So we're going to be taking out almost everything out of this backyard. Of course, we're going to be having to move these sheds back and forth. We'll probably grade one half of the yard first, then the next. And we're going to be getting all the concrete block wall in the back as well because that counts as concrete. So we want to make sure to get all that out so we can save money on the dump fees as best as possible. Let's see. So we're gonna get our DeWalt laser level turned on real soon. Probably go about 1 inch underneath the sliding glass doors on the house, and that'll be pretty much our benchmark of where we want to stay below. As long as we're 1 inch below the sliding glass doors or the weep screeds, we should be good on drainage. Other than that though, let's get rolling.
here's the Toro Dingo, little mini skid steer. Now here's where that tree was. You can see the stump grinder was going off in here. But the stump grinder never really gets all the roots, so that's when you need the equipment to rip those roots out. Since we're putting a slab over where this tree used to be, we're going to have to over X a little bit to get all that organic out of there. And then we're going to bring in some base, compact it, put some rebar on 2-foot centers, do the back patio pour. And then we got a little area for pavers as well, in between the new retaining wall and the slab. This yard had a lot of slope back towards the house initially, and you can see how we're changing the grade a little bit. We're cutting into this hillside, and that's why we're going to need that retaining wall back here. And this retaining wall is a really simple one. It's just some dry stack, and it's going to be Ote brown. It's going to have a split face look to it, so it's like a broken block type of look. Plus it's going to have a cap on it as well. This is a low boy out in front we're loading up. Those are good for about 10 tons. That's your max.
Alright guys, it is the end of the day. We just wrapped up everything. We're putting the skid steer back in the trailer. We're gonna go return that. As you can see, we got a lot done back here. Got a lot of the dirt out, a lot of the grass out. We moved the sheds over to the very far side over there because that side is graded to perfection right now, so we don't need to really worry about that side. What we need to just focus on right now is the whole entire rest of the backyard and getting this to perfection grade now. All right, string lines are all set up right now to the height of where we need it. You see, we dug a little deeper on this side, but that is okay because we do need it pretty deep for the paver base, sand, and the pavers themselves. In total, it's about 8 inches. Right here, we get about 7 to 10 inches overall in this area. So everything's looking pretty good. Pretty happy with how much we got out with the Bobcat, or I mean skidster. Right back here, we want to be about 4 inches below this string line because that will be the top of pavers right there. And for the backside, we do want half the retaining wall block to be encased and pretty much underneath the pavers. So that's the whole idea behind the string line back here. So I'm going to be heading out to Orco, picking up all the materials, and I'll be back.
So that string line represents the top of the first block we're going to set in there. Rather than setting our first course, these dry stacks on sand or gravel, we're just going to sprinkle some bags of concrete mix on there, dry, and then wiggle these in to their level. And then as the moisture works its way into that powder, it's going to really lock that first course in. These particular blocks are made by Orco. You can see the sign right there on that pallet.
Alright guys, so now that we have all of the blocks moved to the backyard, what we're going to do is set up the laser level, set 2 blocks at each end of the farthest points, get them exactly level with each other, pull a string line, and just start laying block from there. We're also going to be putting a concrete base, dry pack. We're going to dry pack it, and then we're going to wet it later on.
Here's the Blue Hawk concrete mix, 4,500 PSI. That's what we're going to put down in the trench, and then we're going to set our first course right on top of that. On this left side of this raised planter, we're going to actually work some steps going into it from this left side, and that's main purpose is just to be able to get to the raised planter for the animals, for just to do maintenance up there. You may have a vegetable garden or whatever it may be, but that's going to make it a lot easier getting in there. So that string line's set to the back of the block, and it's also at elevation. Much easier to set these rather than using the block, like an 8/8/16 with mortar. This is a lot simpler, although the material costs quite a bit more money going this route, but it's much easier. The way these lock together is on the back of each block at the bottom, there's a little lip that locks the first course, so each one staggers backwards a little, and then it locks from the back. Just to keep it uniform, we're going to do steps on both ends. These blocks are about 8 inches in height, so we got about 24 inches there. And then we're going to have your cap as well. We're using a masonry adhesive to glue these caps down. And when you're putting that down, that adhesive, you can have a little fun with it and play a little tic-tac-toe while you're at it. So that's a simple, nice, decorative looking retaining wall. Pretty simple to do. Although each one of those blocks weigh quite a bit. They're probably about 30 pounds a piece, something like that. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you like these videos, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification button to be notified when we upload the next video, because that'll be part 2 of this complete series. We're looking at about a five parts complete. Anyway, have a good one. Bye.